What's up, guys? Got another video here for you. I realized there was someone else in my vault that I hadn't really talked about yet. It's my concealed carry pistol. It is what it is. The SIG M18 that I showed you guys is plenty concealable, but sometimes you just got to go a little smaller to conceal it. Like if you're wearing a tank top or what have you, the M18's a little small, I guess, or a little too big, excuse me. So we're gonna go through my Glock 43X. So first off, we have no magazine in the weapon. I am actuating the magazine release. Nothing falling out. Okay, lock it open. Chamber is clear. All right, so we'll kind of set the stage here. I just dropped the pin in a safe direction there. So I've got the Glock side-by-side comparison up. So it looks like in a lot of respects, the biggest difference between the Glock 43 and the 43X's size. They're both considered subcompacts. They're both chambered in 9mm. 9mm Luger, 9mm NATO, mind you, not any of the odd ones. So the Glock 43 we'll go through first, just to kind of set the stage here. So it came with a 6-round magazine originally. The 43X comes with a 10. You can get some extended base plates. I've seen ones that bump it up to a 12-round capacity. It's a single stack pistol though, so it's designed to be small. So you don't want a huge, 33-round stick hanging out of it like you could with the 19 or the 17 or anything like that, right? Having that extra couple rounds is nice. As you can see, it's just barely big enough for my hand. If my fingers were any bigger, I'd want a palm swell or a finger swell right there on the magazine. Like the little tiny 9mm, I think it's a 26 or 27, one's 9mm and the other's 40. Those are a little too small for me, right? So definitely would want a finger rest on one of those. So the barrel length on the 43 is 86.5 millimeters or 3.41 inches per, and this is from the Glock website, mind you. Whereas the Glock 43X kind of rounds it out at 87 millimeters, which is also within the 3.41 inch range. It might be a tiny bit bigger, but 5 millimeters when converted over to inches is basically nothing. So anyway, so the 43X appears to be a little bigger in all respects as we go through this. So the length of the weapon, the length of the 43 is 159, and this is overall length, mind you. So from stem to stern, it is 159 millimeters or 6.26 inches. And this is for the 43. I don't have one, so I'm just going to use my 43X to demonstrate. Whereas the 43X is 6.5 inches long at 165 millimeters. So the width of the 43 is 27 millimeters or 1.06 inches. The width of the 43X is 28 millimeters, 1.10 inches. The height, including the magazine, so if you were to set it on a flat surface and measure from top to bottom, on the 43 is 108 millimeters or 4.25 inches, 4 1/4 inches. The 43X is slightly bigger, or taller, excuse me, at 128 millimeters and 5.04 inches. And again, that is resting on a flat surface and from the bottom to, I believe they do the top of the sights. I could be wrong, honest mistake if I am. So the weight of the 43 with a loaded magazine, or excuse me, an empty magazine, is 510 grams, 17.99 ounces. So just over a pound. The 43X with an empty magazine weighs 530 grams, or 18.7 ounces. Weight with a loaded magazine, which is really what we care about on the 43, is 585 grams, or 20.64 ounces, so roughly a pound and a half. Very roughly. So the 43X weighs 654 grams, or 23.07 ounces with a loaded 10-round magazine. The trigger pull on both of them is 24 newtons, which I believe is right around 5.5 pounds. I have a Ghost Rocket connector in here. That's a 3.5, so mine's going to be a little lighter than that and a little crisper feeling. And I believe my reset and trigger pull distance is going to be the same. I don't think I did any fitting on this one like I did my 45, excuse me. If you remember me talking about that, I did some fitting on the connector so that when you broke the shot, right as soon as the round fired, you reached end of travel and were immediately into your reset. So the trigger pull distance on the 43 is 65 millimeters, or 2.56 inches. That doesn't seem quite right. I think that is actually not trigger distance. I think that is distance from here, from the back strap to the face of the trigger itself. That seems to make more sense. So that's 2.56 inches. That's roughly 2.5 inches. Yeah, it makes sense. The Glock 43X is slightly bigger at 67 millimeters, or 2.64 inches. The construction is generally the same. The biggest specifications are it's taller, thicker, longer, heavier. Try not to make the joke. Generally speaking, I've really enjoyed owning this pistol. One of the biggest cosmetic differences is that the 43X is milled for the forward cocking serrations, which, as we've discussed on doing press checks, it's a lot easier, and so on. I know I have closed this since I cleared it. We're going to do some, just in case my hand ends up going near the muzzle, we're going to clear it again so that there's no worries, all right? So magazine is out. Nothing extracted, ejected. Chamber is clear. Nothing on the face of the slide. So I'm going to try and keep it in plain view now so that we can see that, in fact, it is clear, even if I snap the trigger. So I've gone through and done a little bit of work to this one. I had some, let me see if I don't remember what these are, what my night sights are. I think they're Trigicon True Glows or something like that. I don't remember. They contrast, so there's the green up there, and then there's the high vis day glow dot around the forward tritium vial. I haven't noticed any significant point of impact shift or anything. Generally, when I train for this, it's more how I would employ it in a concealed carry scenario. Usually I just train for a failure drill from the holster, getting to it as quickly as I can and putting lead on target. I've done some shooting on my back. I've done the rollover position or reverse rollover. I've shot it right-handed, wrong-handed. Practice reloads with both because it does have a reversible magazine catch, not not ambi, so it's always good to figure out how you're going to do that. I figure if you're shooting wrong-handed or opposite-handed from what you normally do, a lot has gone wrong, so it's not the end of the world to break your firing grip. I found this is a pretty good reach around, or workaround, excuse me. Oops. So anyways, it's pretty accurate. I think the farthest I've shot it is 50 meters, and to be honest, I wouldn't want to shoot it any further. I'm sure it's capable, but it's such a short barrel, and it's designed for what it is. Close in, you know, whether it's, hey, get back, or get off me, or, you know, stuff like that. It's designed to be very quickly employed from the holster. No frills, no nonsense, do the job. Like I said, I've got medium to large size man hands, pardon the poor man's Band-Aid. And it fits my hand pretty well. It's comfortable enough that I would feel comfortable if I had to fight the pistol to save my life or anything like that. Is it a duty gun? Absolutely not. Is it good enough for what it's designed to do? Absolutely. Fits the hands well. The controls fall where you would want them. Easy enough to do anything with. Looking at the Glock website, it looks like you can get it with the silver slide, or you can get it blacked out. Obviously, if you're one that you Cerakote things, or really like to customize your stuff, I've seen some ported ones. I think they'd be ported on either side of the front sight, honestly. I don't see why you would, but hey, to each their own. Trying to look at the sell sheet here and see if there's anything that's really sticking out. Again, this is one of the biggest differences, other than dimension, is the forward serrations on the slide. I don't believe it came in the box, but you can get a beaver tail extender so you can shape the grip, so you can buy yourself a little more room back here, change how your fingers go on it, whatever. You can get grip sleeves for it. I'm pretty sure in the box it just came with the pistol and 2 magazines, manual, mag loader, all that stuff that normally comes in a Glock box. Take another look here. I haven't noticed any issues with slide bite, because as you can see, it's got a pretty good beaver tail here, even with a modern thumbs high, thumbs forward grip. You're not really running into any issues of the slide running over your thumb, unless you're an absolute idiot, i.e. gripping it way too high. In which case you're no longer controlling the gun. The gun's controlling you, although conversely, the higher you grip, the better you can control. But at this point, the gun's controlling you, because you clearly have no idea what you're doing. If you're grabbing high enough that you're over the beaver tail, you get what you get. Let me take another look at the sell sheet here. Okay, so it looks like other than your normal stuff, like with anything small, like your Springfield Hellcats or any pocket pistols that shoot a full-size caliber, the biggest thing you want to do is make sure you have a good, strong grip. If you remember on my video with the SCAR and the Glock 19X, I went on about thumbs high, thumbs forward, squeeze in until you can't really see it, but until your hand and the weapon start to shake, and then you relax until it stops, and that's your ideal firing grip. The same principle applies with this. I'm not going to lie to you, it is an absolute I don't want to say horror, it's not that bad to shoot, but it lets you know it's there. You're shooting a pretty reasonably sized bullet out of a small gun. There's not a lot of mass to soak up the recoil. It's still controllable. One of the guys that helped me when I was learning to shoot Glocks, he always told me that between your thumb and your finger on the trigger and just letting the weapon rest in your hand, you should be able to control it as it recoils with just those two fingers. You can. This thing's a Hellcat to shoot. It doesn't recoil hard per se, but it's a very abrupt impulse, and it is very, very loud because it's such a short barrel. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. I'm going to look at the sell sheet and the article I'm kind of looking at here. Really, that's about it. I believe this is a Gen 5, so you've got your Gen 5 texturing and stuff. Again, this is weird because it's a subcompact. Some of the stuff they normally do doesn't really translate. When you holster it, I use a LAG Tactical. I don't remember what it stands for, but I just use an inside the waistband holster for it. This is reversible, so you could technically wear it outside the waistband, but even then, something this tiny is still not going to conceal. As soon as you put it outside your waistband, you lose any concealment value, whereas you can conceal it reasonably well in a t-shirt. You know where to look, you know where it's printing, but you know, just moving crazy like, it's not really going to print that bad. So yeah, that's about all I got for you guys overall. For what it's designed for, pretty decent weapon. Is there some stuff I'd probably improve? Yeah, I've got slightly bigger hands, so I would ask for a little bit more room on the grip, but by and large, for a subcompact pistol, it fits what I would consider perfectly for a pistol its size. I would also like to point out, based on this article, I don't have a 43, so I don't have a way to compare. It looks like any aftermarket magazine that's available for the standard 43, not the 43X, is not compatible with the 43X. And it looks like that's due to Glock having to do a little bit of engineering to accommodate a 10-round magazine. So overall, pretty good weapon. Recommend it if you're looking for a good concealed carry piece. Questions, comments, put them down below. I think that's about all I got to say about it. So belay that. I'm not quite done. So as you notice, there is no rail here. So a light is either going to have to be a trigger guard mount, or you're just going to have to carry a little pen light with you, which you should anyways. A good light is a good part of your everyday carry. You don't want to be like, oh, I can use my phone's flashlight. Well, sure you can, but it's not a good idea. So, only real gripe, as with most subcompact Glocks, is you don't have that forward rail space, because even a TLR7 is big on this thing. So, anyways, now we're done. Talk to you guys later.